Kia ora fams. Well, I'm on the famous MAUAO, or like people like to call it, Mount Maunganui, or the area, Mount Maunganui. Maunga means mountain, and Nui means big. So yeah, I'm on this maunga called MAUAO, which is sort of the big maunga, the big mountain in Tauranga that's by the sea. MAUAO's got its own story of how he came to be here, which is really beautiful, which I'm going to record later on from somebody who knows it off by heart. But pretty much it's about, he was in love with another mountain, the one probably out in the ocean there, or maybe it was inland. So pretty much he was in love with another mountain, a maunga, and she was like, nah, not keen. And like a lot of men who are really in love, or a lot of people who are in love, they, not happy about it. And so he moved down towards the ocean to drown himself. And he stopped at this point here. So I'm going to tell that story as well. Just need to find out a bit more about it. I'm going to talk to somebody about it and they can tell me about it. So I'm sitting here on this bit of land. I don't really know a lot about it, but this is all clear here. And I can see to my right there's all this new native tree growth coming through. There's some Barco down there. Looks like a Cody over there. There's some big Purakawa. And then behind me it's all been planted in harakeke. So I was talking to somebody about how to heal land that's been kind of monocultured. Monoculture's like the grass, just having grass, which is like pretty much all of Aotearoa, except for the highlands. You have this like kind of like ridge lines that run down the whole of both islands. But the rest of the flatland, where lots of the manu, the birds in Aotearoa lived, that's all kind of farmland. So we kind of decided to keep dairy and sheep and agriculture over the native flora and fauna. And then we spread 1080 throughout all the bushes as well at the same time. Anyway, it's another story. Rather than saying let's get rid of the cows, or some of the cows and some of the sheep, and planting native bush again on the flatland where most of the manu came from. Or at least do it in stages. And then also, instead of planting pine forest, why don't we plant native trees and think a little bit further than 20 years or 30 years ahead. We could actually think 800 years ahead, 1,000 years ahead, 2,000 years ahead. And when you change perspectives from singular generation to multiple generations, like we all should be doing, whether you're Māori, Pākehā, humans of this earth, there's only one planet. So part of me is like, what are we doing when we decide to plant New Zealand pine trees, which acidify the earth? Anyway, so the rongoa, the healing of the earth, requires us to plant natives that connect to this whenua, this land, and grow that from that ground up again, healing the soil, healing the trees, healing the birds. And in that process of where I think was where more jobs are going to be created, we're going to get away from creation of consumable products to the recreation, regeneration of Papatūānuku as a job that everyone aspires to have, that's probably connected to technology in some way, but it's human focused, rehumanizing, I like the word that my mate Teddy talks about, which is that connection to being with 1, 2, 3, 400 people in every day, and as a daily occurrence, as a daily thing, where we aspire to communicate our needs, wants, our human responses, figure out our body language, and go from there. So I'm lucky enough to be here on MAUAO, and I've got like a piece of rako. This is an emu, and this one's going to be carved here with the energy. So usually what I do is I shut the camera down and I turn around and face that way, and I do a karakia, and I connect to myself and to the piece of rako and to the whenua, MAUAO, my ancestor, the guardian of this area. While he looks out to sea, and he even looks inland, he doesn't have just to look all the way one way. It's full 360 degree. But it's beautiful. I'm going to take some video looking back this way as well, just to see the growth I can see on the mountain. It's weird. On one, it's sort of like it has like this grassland, then it has the walking track, then it has the natives, and then on the other side there's like, I don't know if it's just like a farmhouse or something. One of the bros was talking about that the hapu's a hapu here for, you know, hundreds of years. There's hapu all different blocks of this land around here. And sort of all the prime blocks really of land are all where the big fancy $1 million houses are, which just cracks me up. So I'm like, all the other people got pushed out further and further out away from there. I mean, they got all the ancestors everywhere, but pushed further and further away from these beautiful spots. And then if I look to the left here, I can see some giant apartment buildings, which looks like they were built in probably the 70s or 80s when the last big boom kind of happened. So there's little hapus of wealth, people of wealth. There's little hapus of people of poverty. There's these giant shipyards over here. So that's Tauranga, what's sort of based on. So my ancestor John Lees Faulkner, he travelled here by schooner, and yeah, so he's working out of this area. So this was a trading post between tangata whenua, Māori, Pākehā, to the west, to the rest of the world. Mainly at that time to like Australia, because they didn't really know how to grow food there, and also the soils are shit. So he's exported a lot of kai from here to Australia, a lot of goods, flax, harakiki for ropes and things like that. So yeah, peace and love. That's just sort of a rant for me for the day. Some of it's kind of like, whoa, but I think the energy, I'm feeling like there's a lot of tiranga, tiratanga within this land. I can feel its sovereignty, its way of being. It's kind of like, it's got this kind of, it's beautiful and peaceful, but at the same time it's like solid in its chieftainship. It's holding this need to be recognised. I mean, it is recognised, but you know, to be held with reverence and respect and mana. But yeah, I can feel, it's a lot coming through me at the moment. It's gonna be fun to see what happens. Love you, cheer. Push record. Yes, I did.